you doing today?
Hey there, Travis Mears here, professional shotgun shooter for Fabarm and Caesar Greeny USA. We're out here at the Game Fair in Ramsey, Minnesota, and as you can see here, I got grandstands behind me, and we're going to do some trick shooting this weekend. I've got 6 shows this weekend. I did 6 last weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm shooting the Fabarm Chesapeake XLR. This is an awesome shotgun. I'm going to take you along real quick, and we're going to get this thing polished up, ready for a big weekend of shooting. Hey there, we're at Game Fair in Minnesota. It's the 42nd Game Fair, and I've been coming for the last 5 or 6 years and doing trick shows. And so I come up for 2 different weekends and do 6 shows each weekend for a total of 12. Last weekend, 6 shows. 2 of them were in the rain, and I didn't clean my Fabarm shotguns at all throughout the weekend and didn't have any trouble. But going into the second weekend, I want to make sure that, especially since they got rained on, that they're in good conditions going into this weekend show. So last weekend I shot right around 2,000 shells, and like I said, 2 of the shows were in the rain. So we're going to go through these guns real quick and just make sure that they're in good working conditions. This is the Fabarm Chesapeake. It's an XLR, awesome gun for me. It's got, oh, lost that. That was my extension. That's a Briley carbon fiber extension, holds 13 rounds, which allows me to do some pretty rapid shooting. These guns, I wouldn't say are necessarily made for that, but I put them to the test, and they do really well for me. So, really easy to take apart. I'm going to pull that pin there, action, and everything comes out. So we'll just clean them up real quick. Won't take more than a couple seconds to get them polished up. I just travel with a ball of oil and some pliers, and the pliers are just to help push the pins out so I can get the trigger group out. What I'm doing with these shotguns is kind of out of the norm. High volume, rapid shooting, and just really putting them to the test. Oftentimes in a show, because of the rate that I'm pulling the trigger, the barrels get so hot you can't hardly touch them, and so that's why I travel with 2 guns. I already cleaned the other one. It wasn't bad considering the amount of shooting I did last weekend, but again, I'm in front of a live crowd. We want to make sure that the guns are in the best possible condition they can be. You know, it's funny to think about when somebody buys a gun like this. You know, oftentimes they're buying it for hunting or for target shooting, and in those scenarios, you don't do what I do. You might shoot 2,000 shells in, you know, 4 or 5 seasons, where I do it in a total of, you know, probably 3 hours. So it's a lot of shooting, pretty abusive on the guns. The Fabarm Chesapeake, and prior to that I was shooting the Griffin. And what I'm doing right here is just where the piston is, there's some carbon buildup, and just to easily scrape that off real quick. Hit it with a rag and it polishes up real nice. So back to, you know, you can kind of see a little bit of residue there. But anything that will slow the action down, I want to kind of spray, make sure it's clean, lubricate, and get ready for another busy weekend of shooting. Where the action bar slides here, sometimes we'll have a little carbon buildup. The action bar is what controls the bolt, and it also slides on the mag tube here. And so making sure that that is nice and clean, make sure that the gun can shoot at the highest rate speed-wise. When I open the show, I shoot a paint can, and I'll dump 13 rounds in less than 2 seconds, and I need the gun to go off every time I pull the trigger. And so making sure that all the moving parts are, you know, decently clean, makes sure that the gun's going to be, you know, functioning properly. During the show, if you haven't seen one of them, I throw the guns, obviously in a safe manner. I drop them on the table, I grab another one, shoot rapid. You know, I'll throw up 6 targets in the air and shoot as fast as I can. And then obviously on the paint can, there's a lot of shooting going on. I'm always impressed by this. This is the action group on the Chesapeake after 2,000 shots of no cleaning. It's clean. I can just wipe it off real quick, and no oil needed or anything like that. I don't know how it's so clean. I'm shooting Fiocchi Game and Targets, which is a 1 ounce 1250 target load. Probably be good for dove hunting, quail hunting. This is the action bar I was talking about right here. It slides inside the receiver, and the bolt sits on top of this right here. So I'm going to polish this up. Any kind of buildup on the sides here can slow the action down, so just hit them real quick with a rag. I don't know what it's made of, but I never have to use a brass brush or anything like that. It's real easy to clean. Clean the inside. This runs on the mag tube, so just make sure that it's polished up. Grab the bolt. Okay, you can see the firing pin there, and just kind of hit that real quick. When I put this thing back together, it's show ready, and in my mind it's clean, but sometimes when the gunsmiths at Fabarm see my guns, they think, how the heck is that thing running? Because my clean and their clean are different. But I just need to make sure that it's functioning properly for the shows. This is the gas piston. As you can see, it gets a little carbon buildup on it, especially after a couple thousand rounds. Real easy to clean. I just spray it with a little oil. Hit it with a brass brush. This is not as dirty as it is sometimes, but I'll just kind of spin it around, get off as much carbon as I can. Pretty easy stuff here. Low maintenance on these guns always impresses me. I've got a show here in, I don't know, an hour and a half or so, and I'm not worried about stripping these things down because it doesn't take me long to get them polished up and ready. I don't suggest everybody get their stuff as dirty as me, but if you use it like I do, you will, and you can still be confident that it's going to work when you need it to work. When the pressure's on, the ducks are coming in, or the geese are coming in, or the targets are being thrown, you got to have confidence in your equipment, and I'm always confident when I step out in front of a crowd to shoot, because these guns are awesome. So once I hit it with a wire brush, I can just take the rag and kind of polish it. Stick the rag here on my finger and kind of get the inside a little bit. Obviously, when I'm home and have more equipment, I've got a drill gun that's got a wire brush on it that fits in here nice, and I can just kind of run it in, spin it for a little bit, let it get hot, run it in. But because I've done that so many times, now the carbon doesn't build up really on it that much, and so pretty easy to clean. On the inside the action, this is attached to the barrel, obviously, and I don't know if this being dirty matters at all, but I always just kind of hit it with oil and make it shine, and make sure everything's in good condition. People always ask me about cleaning my guns, and I don't do it as much as I probably should, especially shooting in the rain last week. I wasn't worried about these guns rusting. These Chesapeakes are Cerakoted, and so I wasn't really worried about rust at all. I just kind of hit them with a rag so the water wasn't sitting on them, and threw them in the case and flew home. And then here I am flying back up to Game Fair to do it all again. Most of the time, the worst part of my gun is the fact that it's got cabbage and everything else, watermelon and tomatoes on it. And so I worry about that more than carbon buildup, because it just looks nasty. And but that's what I do. So again, my handy pliers here, knock that pin in. The short one goes from the other side, a couple taps, drive it in. At that point, we're putting this gun back together. I'll grab my action bar, I'm gonna put the bolt on it. Pretty easy. It just literally sits on top there, and that will slide over. Piston there, push it down, put the charging handle in. It goes right in, one hit, and it's done. Now my gas piston, we're sliding. Okay, no resistance on that, which means the gun's going to be moving quick when I pull the trigger. A couple sprays of oil on the action bar. That was a tip and trick that the gunsmiths told me to keep these guns running as fast as possible. At this point, it's time for the barrel. Okay, gun's feeling good already. Hit it with the 4-end. For what I'm doing, I'm shooting with an extension, so I've got my spring here. You saw it shoot off a second ago. These are Briley extensions, and I actually just got some new ones. So you saw the carbon fiber one shoot off a second ago, but now I'm going to be using the new extension for the shows this weekend, which I think are awesome. They're like honeycombed. Again, these are Briley's, and you can find them on their website. Since this is brand new, and I don't know how many this one holds, the carbon fiber one I took off I think holds 13. I've got a shorter honeycomb that holds 10. This one probably is going to be 12. But easy as that. We're show ready, and hope that y'all can run out and get you a Chesapeake, do some shooting. Thank y'all for watching. Again, this is Travis Mears, professional trick shooter and sporting clay shooter for Fabarm and Caesar Greeny, and glad to take you along. Thank you.